Thank you. Right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Attleborough Town Council meeting on the 8th of January 2024. May I first of all welcome you all and say Happy New Year, even though it seems so long ago. And also, we've had weather issues. We're aware of that, and the weather again has changed tonight. So I'll try and keep this meeting short. We'll have proper full debates, but as it's getting colder, let's try and get home and get some warmth if we can. So again, thank you very much for your turnout. So moving swiftly on, item 2, apologies for absence.
Okay.
Councillor Ellis. Sorry.
Councillor Webby, Councillor Bond, Councillor Ellen, and Councillor Ashford. Did you have something to say about Councillor Ellis? Peter?
No, just saying that he sent us a project.
Okay, thank you. Item 3, declarations of interest.
Yeah,
So T-table.
I have a interest in the payments list. There's payment to Cornwall and Blackpool Council, so I will be declaring an interest in the rent.
And can I add in that I will be declaring a pecuniary interest in both of those? And can I also just point out at this meeting, before we go to move on to the co-option, 3 of the 4 candidates are regular customers of mine and I benefit financially from that. So I would ask Sharon, do I have a pecuniary interest in that? And if so, it's all bar Mr. Reynolds. The other 3 are all customers that I financially benefit from.
I think you have a non-DPI. If you wish to declare a DPI on erring on the side of caution, that's entirely up to you. But you'd have to leave the room and not take part in the discussion about it. But a non-DPI is like personal interest, as in you are acquainted with them, you know them. You've not got any contracts with them, have you? You don't contract them to come in and drink in your pub.
No.
You have no control over whether they do come into your pub. So in my view, you would just have a non-DPI.
Okay, but for transparency, I would like it noted that I do know 3 of the applicants.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will decide at the item whether I'm going to leave. I'm just scrolling through a bit at the moment, and I will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor.
Also, the interest on the front.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, thank you very much. I've been asked by the town clerk if you'll allow me, this chair, just to alter the agenda slightly. So if we can pull item 9 forward, so people are not waiting. So item 9 is a little more kindness. We've had meetings, so if councillors are happy for them to take the floor and explain what they're doing, and
I'll propose that we suspend the sound.
I knew that was coming up. And seconder, thank you. We propose so we suspend standing orders. You're allowed to speak, please do. Thank you.
Since our last agenda, we've put forward a plan as to what sort of premises we require. We've recently had meetings with Sharon and come up with potentially 3 premises. We are looking more than likely to rent a cabin, which will be subsidised due to us being now a registered CIC through a company that comes recommended. It will need to go on a fixed base. The 3 potential options were...
Sorry, just before you go on, and benefit me, but for the rest of the public and councillors, about what you do, what it's about, and then we'll get onto the specifics.
Okay, no problem.
Please do, just that overview. Yeah.
Myself and Elaine run A Little More Kindness. We were originally a Facebook group who helped people and local charities. and local businesses and stuff initially. It's since developed more into a community kindness food hub, which we run currently in the town hall every other Thursday. We can help up to 40, 50 families per week. People who aren't able to come to the food hub on the Thursdays, we actually provide help with from our homes. So we have been pushing for premises, and because we are currently moving our produce, from our cars and our homes here fortnightly. So
And people can't always attend the
Yeah.
10 till 12 slot that we do open here.
yeah,
We help them working families. It's like, it's not just your typical people that are coming. We've keeping a record. We have from anything from 25 different families to 45 a week come in. We gave out 45 Christmas dinner boxes a couple of, like, just before Christmas, which we rely on donations and volunteers and us fundraising to provide for it all. We've outgrown what we can do, and there are families that cannot come to the Thursday food hub that we need to be able to help them with too. And the idea of the premises is that we would eventually possibly join with another charity and become like a really reduced subsidised pantry hub.
yeah. It's like a subsidised supermarket, they
Yeah.
call it. It'll be.
But it would be a smaller version. Sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna ask. So I think I already know the answer, but just for clarification, with like an ordinary food bank, you obviously have to go through a process where you'd be able to meet a financial bracket to get a voucher, but you don't have that
No.
criteria. You help everyone, no matter what their circumstances
Yes,
are.
we do.
Yeah.
There were a lot of families, like working families, that at the moment with the cost of living, they wouldn't be able to get the other help that other families that use the food bank. They can't get vouchers, they don't get the financial benefits of help from the government, that kind of thing. So we're helping all sorts of people, teachers, paramedics, single families, double families that are working.
I struggle to meet ends meet.
Some come every week, some come once a month, some come every 6 weeks, but they desperately need the food when they do come. And so we're a part of a scheme called Neighbourly, which we can get the waste produce from Lidl's and Sainsbury's. So 9 times out of 10, we have all the bakery items. We've been having eggs, fruit and veg, and they all of it goes. We have boxfuls of it, and it goes. And then through donations or us fundraising, we have all the staple foods like pasta, tins, nappies, sanitary products, and there's always like shower gels and tinned meat. And obviously, we can't have fridges in here at the moment. So the idea of the premises is that we can have fridges and freezers, because if we have freezers, we can have all the frozen stuff that's from Lidl's and Sainsbury's as well. It's not out of date, it's really date, it's just they change their packaging, or once they change their offer aisle, it all gets thrown in the bin, and we can save that and feed people with it. Yeah, very similar to the Kenmore Pantry. They're a part of Nourishing Norfolk. So as soon as we have a premises, now we've been in contact with Nourishing, they got in contact with us, and Nourishing Norfolk would help us become a subsidised food hub, basically. There would still be free products available, but
You'd
the
have to
rest
be a
of it
member.
would be a real reduced rate.
Yeah. But now there wouldn't be criteria necessary to become a member.
Okay, so thank you very much for that, and thank you so much, and very worthy of the community. And there's lots of people around the community that have different ways to help in that very difficult situation. It's sad we're in this situation.
Yeah.
No, thank you. So in terms of the ask, Councillor Taylor, are you able to summarise for councillors and also?
Yeah, I was. So basically, and if I'm wrong at any point, please correct me, and Sharon, so you had a lengthy discussion on Friday. But obviously at this present moment, it's a case of finding a location to put a temporary unit so that you can operate. And Sharon has explored the costs a little bit, obviously, to help you with providing that premises. And I think from discussions that I've had with the clerk off the back of your conversations, what I feel is, and what the recommendation I'm going to make, is that the most appropriate space that we think we could make use of at the moment is potentially the 3 car parking spaces that are owned by the town council at Queen Square, because that gives you a central town centre location that could be people parking Queen Square car park, the Breckland owned car park, while visiting you. There would then also be toilets on site that you could use or your customers or clients could use. The only catch-22 with this is that there might be a delay because in the car parking order, which is a like legal binding order, for Queen Square, there is 8 disabled spaces identified. So even though these spaces are owned by the town council, not by Breckland, the advice that I've received from Breckland is that those 3 bays, disabled bays, would then have to be transferred to the actual Queen Square car park before you could make an alternative use of those bays. So there might be some timescale issues that wouldn't be compatible with what your goals are. But on the basis that we could work collaboratively with Breckland to accelerate that and get the bays moved in a timely manner, I think that that would be an ideal location that then would be in the town council's ownership. Obviously, would have the ownership of the public toilets as well, which I think would be a benefit for electricity connections and everything else to make it a viable option. So that's the recommendation that I'd like to make, is that we proceed on that basis and further explore the viability of it, and depending on the timescales and the transfer of the spaces.
And what I would just add to is things never go as quick as you want to.
No.
So I
yes.
think Councillor Taylor's quite right, putting a bit of word of caution in, but I'm sure on both parties, both town council and Breckland, there's a willingness and an aspiration to do that and try and move it as quickly as possible. And I totally agree with what Councillor Taylor said. There's that patience,
If I can just come
which
back
I know
in.
can be frustrating, but yeah.
If I could just come back in, if you know Breckland come back and said, well, actually, it's going to be 6 months, it's going to be 10 months, like it's going to be a prolonged period of time, we can review
We'll
and
do
then look
that,
at an
yeah.
alternative location. But at present, the recommendation that I'm making is that that is the area that we pursue. So.
Yeah, obviously before and in discussions recently, there's actually been it's been mooted about a financial contribution from the town council, and I'd like to know if financially we are in a position that we could at least add that commitment into this proposal, so ladies know that we are actually 100% committed to this project. I know Sharon, you'd worked out an annual rent, and obviously you had an idea about how we could contribute to that rent. Are we in a position to share that with the council?
I mean, I've explored the cost of hiring a container unit. The company that I contacted are going to hold the prices that they had 2 years ago. So it would be £50 a week. So that would be £200 a month. So roughly that would be about 2,400 for the year.
So we could sponsor this project for £200 a month.
Yes, but then there will be a one-off cost of electricity connection if it's not possible to hardwire the unit into our existing electricity supply. If there is, there may well be a cost of, I would say, 1,500 to 1,800 for the electricity connection. But I have asked an electrician to give me a sort of like an indication of what that cost would be. But he hasn't got back to me, but he is visiting out for next week. So by the time we have the next meeting.
But we could add that in if we committed to
Yes,
the sponsorship, the monthly sponsorship. Now we could add if members were minded to, now put that commitment forward to this project for when it starts, obviously not straight away. I would like to see us actually commit to this project, rather than just keep coming back and back. I know Councillor Taylor's got a proposal for a site but I'd like us to be able to say, you know, we are behind this. This is where we are. Our community needs this project. The ladies are gung-ho and ready to go. And as soon as they are, that like £200 a month is really nothing for us to commit to supporting our community in such a way. And I would propose that amendment to Councillor Taylor's proposal.
Can I just open it up to councillors for comment?
who said that they cater for everybody. And I know people from my employment have suddenly fallen on hard times and just used it the once. Anybody can use it once, they can use it regularly, it's there for everybody. And I think that is so important and we should support them to the hilt, you know, in any way, shape or form we can, because it's a valuable asset to town. We've moaned and moaned and moaned about not having a community fridge over the years. So, you know, and I've got a fridge freezer you can have.
Can I just mention, the ladies did ask if they have a commitment for up to 2 years, because the crisis is not going to go away quickly.
Well, that was my question of rather than, and forgive me, it's not criticism, it's not like, yes, let's do it and it's open-ended, but put some kind of timescale on a review, because who knows what's going to happen in the future, you know. Hopefully life gets better.
Can I amend my amazement?
But
Yeah.
I think, you know, some kind of timescale, if acceptable to yourself, and then we can review it as and when town council.
So the reason why I suggested 2 years, or even up to 2 years, a minimum of a year, to give us opportunity
Sure.
to get established. And if it becomes more like a subsidised supermarket like it was, or a hub,
Yeah.
the rental stuff would consider to pay for itself.
I
At the
certainly
moment,
wasn't
it's
suggesting
completely-
anything less than that.
Yeah.
You know, as
Not
town
saying
clerk
it's
suggested,
forever.
it's just
No,
like
it's not
an
forever. It's just until we
open-ended.
run off the
Yeah. But the electricity side was obviously consideration, when we were talking about, and my concern, which I'm really glad you brought up, was the fact that the space was going to be taking over the 3 disabled bays, and we couldn't have our name put against that and taking that away from the town. So the fact that it could be moved over is brilliant. I appreciate there's going to be a timescale on that. Again, if we was to go back and consider the rec as another option, we'd have to wait probably to at least the spring, because we need to make sure the grass won't be ruined, as we take a unit and stuff on there. So we appreciate it won't be done tomorrow.
It needs to be done
Sooner rather than later. We are literally, I mean,
I've got a car
now
in my driveway that is now storing tins of food because we need that amount of food, and we, between our houses, where we went
my
to put it,
car.
because we use here, we have to bring it all with us every 2 weeks. But people need it more often than every 2 weeks, if that makes sense.
So we are now in the discussions about buying a storage unit ourselves to put on our drive, because we have outgrown it completely. So that's where we are. So I appreciate where you meet us. That'd be great.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everything you've done
Thank you.
and doing and will do. So when I say drawing this to a close, don't mean that
No, it's fine.
in an awful way.
Yeah, it's fine.
But we need to move on, and also we need to make a decision. So,
Can I just ask what Sam is going to amend her?
Well, I was just going to say then that for a minimum of 2 years, but to have a review in 18 months after the project starts to see if we would continue the support after that 2 years.
so can we just have a repeat of?
But if you add it to your proposal, I'm
So if
happy.
just to be really clear that we've covered all
Yeah.
bases, my recommendation is that we further explore the possibility of putting it at the Queen Square location where
Yeah.
our car parking spaces are, with consultation with Brecon Council to resite those 3 disabled bays. And pending timescales, if that timescale is not suitable, we will bring back and review. And that we
Support the rent
support
for
the
2
rent
years, a
for
minimum of 2 years,
a minimum of 2 years,
and review it
review in
in
18 months with the cost of the initial electricity supply. Oh, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Not enough room for my phone now. Oh, no, no.
It's a good job these meetings are recorded.
Okay, so proposed, councillor Taylor, seconded.
Yeah, I'll second it. I did have one question, and
Sorry,
forgive me
please,
because I've been out of information over the last couple of months. Doing the electricity supply, setting it all up is fine. Who is paying for the electricity supply? Will we be picking up the bill for the electricity? Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, it would tap into our savings, into our public.
Yeah, that's fine.
units.
Yeah. Hope so. In which case, I would 100% support it.
So can we have a vote on it, please?
Unanimous. Yeah.
And just a
Thank
quick,
you very much.
just a quick one here. You can buy a refurbished container, 40 foot, for 22.50. Or you can have a single use one that's come from China, delivered here, 3,500 quid. So you might as well buy one,
What size would that be, John?
40 foot.
That's got to fit into those three.
There should be the 40 foot.
Right, let's have a discussion.
No,
outside.
sorry,
But
send that to
thank
Sharon
you,
outside.
thank you, councillor Taylor, as ever, on the money in terms of value. But again, can I thank you for everything you've done? It's very valued, and we're just here to help and support where we can.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, just before, do you need anything from us going forward from now? Do you need anything?
Not yet.
else from us?
I'll
Okay.
keep in touch though.
No, yeah, it's fine. We're not going to disappear. I'm interested. The rest is fine. I just wanted to know if anything else you needed from me.
No,
Thank you.
going on to more official stuff.
Okay.
Right, okay, moving on to item 4, councillor vacancy for co-option. So what I'd like to do on this, if you don't mind, is hand over to councillor T Taylor,
Yeah, thank you.
and just explain the position.
So I will just say we got ourselves into a little bit of a pickle with this, and I will pass over to Sharon just briefly. But actually, the protocol that we have to follow for the co-option process, as it's written, kind of leaves a little bit of room to interpretation. And some of our administration read it one way, while others read it another. And it didn't seem quite clear, but it's not actually been followed to the word. And actually, for the way that we've received our applications with the timeframes that are set out in the protocol, some would then qualify and some wouldn't. And a deadline for application wasn't published, even though the vacancy itself was advertised, and the fact that it would be going to co-option was also advertised. So on the basis that we had received 4 applicants, which actually is quite a good turnout for a co-option, anyone that's been a member for a certain period of time will know that. I actually was going to make the recommendation that we suspend the protocol for this evening's meeting, ignore obviously that the process may not have been followed to a T, and proceed with the co-options on the basis that we have 4 people here tonight that obviously have turned out for this meeting and have made their put forward their candidacy, and that in line with the protocol being suspended, we actually revised kind of the protocol itself will go to the standing order committee meeting to be reviewed and brought back to council for acceptance in a revised format. And actually the procedure that's outlined, where it would be a nomination of each candidate and then a show of hands, actually, because we have 4 candidates, rather than try and find a proposal and a seconder for each of them, we just take all 4 as candidates and do a paper ballot vote for those 4 members. If there is a draw, say 2 out of the 4 get a joint majority, we would recast the paper ballot to vote for those 2 people alone. And then if there is again a draw, which I think is unlikely, the chairman in that case would get the casting vote. So that's the recommendation. Sharon, I don't know if you want to add anything or if you think I've actually covered it.
Did you cover that nicely, unless anybody has any questions about the specifics, but basically, yeah, the sort of the wording that we would like to be considered to be changed would be to apply by a specified date of no less than 3 weeks from the announcement. But the announcement is in question, because is that the casual vacancy notice, or is that a notice that I should have put up, which advertises the vacancy even after the casual vacancy is put up? So it's quite ambiguous. And also, we also noticed that it says in there that the vacancy has to be declared at the meeting that there is a vacancy. So as soon as the councillor has resigned, at that next meeting, where it wasn't even noted in the last meeting that there was a vacancy, so that wasn't followed properly. So that needs to be looked at, is that even necessary? Because the casual vacancy notice comes up whether you've mentioned it in a meeting or not. So I've got some ideas as to how to amend it so that it's crystal clear. But for the purpose of tonight, we're asking that the co-option to go ahead because people were, the main point was that people were aware that there was a vacancy because we have 4 applicants. So.
Okay, can I open it up to councillors to?
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time on this. I don't want bureaucracy to get in the way of what's been
No.
practiced, so fully support what we need to do.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'll take yours.
£10, Peter.
No, with the line for his bills.
Yes, to thank you.
So councillor Taylor's put a proposal forward in terms of how we interpret
I think we can
things for tonight, with a review of it being clearer going forward. Is there a seconder?
Yes.
Yeah.
So councillor Fraser and those in favour, those abstaining.
Oh, no, yeah, go on. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I've
sorry.
got, I'm still contemplating where I stand on the next bit. Let's go. I'm away with the fairies.
Okay, so okay, so we'll proceed as said. So we've got 4 applicants. And I am aware that there might be people that wanted to apply that are possibly here tonight, and I'll very happily talk to them afterwards. But the council have made the decision to move forward with the applicants that we have before us. So, councillor Taylor, if it's standing orders, if you want to.
Well, I was actually just going to say, we're quite paperless these days. Does everyone have a pen to be able to do their paper ballot? Because yeah, do we have a couple of pens as well? Just for those that don't have one. We've got. Well, yeah, that is literally what me and Ed were just discussing.
Yeah.
Like, we should maybe just say should in our record, definitely. Or just.
So, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the old post-it notes are going round, which kind of looks a bit like House of Parliament. What I'd like to do, and this has happened in the past, it's happened to me. I'd like each of the applicants, and thank you very much to everyone that's expressed an interest in this and put an application forward. What I'd like you to do within 2 minutes, and I will time this, is just explain who you are. Well, not explain who you are, obviously, but summarise why you'd like to be on the town council. So I don't know who goes first. I'm not going to pick names, but you know who you are. Have we got your application?
You have, I believe.
Are you
Matthew?
Matthew House? Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew House.
Brilliant. Thank you, Matthew.
Very unprepared, so I wasn't expecting to be here this evening.
No.
I'd like to be on the council, so I can help the community. I mean, I live here, I've been here 2 years now. I'm semi-retired, I have a lot of time on my hands. I've been a builder for the last 30 years of my life. I've run several businesses in several other locations except this council. And that's just me, yeah, really, I'd like to help. I don't know too much about being a councillor, I've never done it before. I just would like to learn. I mean, even if it's the beginning of the process, beginning to learn. So in the future, maybe I could help. There you go, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.
Who's going to volunteer next?
Hi, I'm Daniel, I'm Managing Director of Applied Home Care. I'm a local businessman in the area and I naturally help the community. It comes hand in hand with the job. as well as personally. I have the drive to help people and it gives me adrenaline. I also have that accessibility to help the social care system, which I can then cascade that out to the community to help them access any health and care information that they may require. I might not necessarily have the knowledge and experience, but I do have the enthusiasm and the drive to learn the processes. I've been involved in helping the community over the past 12 years, most recently with community events, Attleborough Pride, the Santa, and other local charities, Dementia Alliance, which I've been involved in. So I like to obviously put myself forward for the councillor to then step up to help more of the wider community. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How you doing? Alan Reynolds. Been in the, family's been here for about 70 years now. Reliable member of the community. I do the Santa sleigh with these guys. Been doing that for the past 5 years. Got a local business in services. We do tractor and tanker work, which has been fairly crucial through these past sort of few months with all the flood we've been having. Do a lot for the community. Like I say, my uncle was a big part of the council, Ray Reynolds. Served the council for a fair few years. And yeah, really want to sort of put myself forward to help as much as I possibly can. And yeah, see how we get on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And finally, Mrs. Quaid.
Good evening. You probably all know me. You offer. As I've got older, I found that I want to give more back. So instead of sitting on this side of the room, I want to be on that side of the room, trying to make a difference. That's what drives me. Some would say it's an abundance of common sense. I don't know how you want to word it, but it's time to give back and stop taking it a while. Our community needs us, and I think it's time to stand up and put myself forward. That's me.
Thank you. So, thank you all. First of all, thank you very much for putting yourself forward. No, it's a big step, and why would you? But no, seriously, thank you. You know, sincerely, it's a big step, and the fact that you're willing to do that. What I will say, there's only going to be one winner tonight. Those of you that have applied, please do not take that as any disappointment or rejection in any shape, way, or form. There's always opportunities. That's what local politics is about. And the fact that you do want to be enthused by being involved in the community is a big, huge asset. And even outside that, if you can keep being involved, you know, it's really appreciated by all of us. So, so what's going to happen now? We're going to make a vote. It might take a few iterations, I suspect, possibly. But again, please can I emphasise, if you're not elected, don't take it as a rejection in any shape, way, or form.
There'll be other vacancies.
And you can still be involved in the community in different ways. All right. So. All right. Okay. So, town clerk was asked that you stand up. Candidate one, my name is.
Sorry, candidate one, Matthew House.
Thank you.
Candidate two, Daniel Bircham.
Candidate 3, Alan Reynolds.
Candidate 4, Nigel Points.
You just have to put the name on it.
Yeah. So just put down.
Can I just
Sorry,
say,
that was not meant to be like a TV show.
before we do, I have taken advice from the clerk. I am going to declare a personal interest because I know all 3 are customers. But I will participate.
In a town our size, if you don't know at least one of them. Something wrong.
I don't know them or relate
Yeah.
to them. What I would say to those of you that said you've got no experience, that's what comes with being on the council, you get the experience. And also,
But the elections will do really.
Why don't I just take, yeah.
It's got to be up to about 30 quid.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you've got much room to talk.
Why?
Your phone went off twice in the meeting before last weekend. I think it's already at
You're right
£50.
though. You're doing a bit of.
Sorry.
No one really cares.
Have you not paid him? Have you not paid him yet? The chairman of district, his phone went off. It was the video of the flooding. Someone sent us a video of the flooding and he set it off. And I was like, stop it. And then he said, do not touch it. But I sat there going to, do not touch it, do not touch it. And then about 3 minutes later, he touched it again and it went off again. He did give you a discount because he was a new member.
Was it Claire?
Oh, that's good news, is it?
Okay, thank you. So we've just done the votes. I'd like the town clerk to
Say
who is and give those
That's
results.
the majority vote. The person with the majority votes is Alan Reynolds.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Reynolds, if you would like to join the table. And whilst you're doing that, again, for those of you that put yourselves forward, can I sincerely thank you? You know, it's a big ask to be involved in the community, and there's a lot of people in Attleborough that want to do that. Sadly, we got limited numbers, but there are other ways of doing that. So, but thank you.
We've got in 2 community groups and we're always looking for volunteers to help.
Yeah, it's also done. Then he was actively congratulating.
Okay, those of you that put yourselves forward, it's entirely up to you. I'd love you to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you feel you don't want to,
I would like to apologise. I am going to leave, not because I lost or didn't get voted, sorry. But I was on very short notice to get this evening and it was such a rush, and I do have.
no apologies, no apologies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Yeah, just make it clear, yeah, Alan, when you discuss items, it's up to you whether you want to vote or not. And if you don't feel as if you can vote because you're unsure of the items and things happen clear, you are just allowed to abstain for tonight to catch up.
Okay.
But if you trust the judgment of others and you want to go along with the majority, you can do that. Try.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So moving swiftly on, I'm conscious of time. Related item 5, public participation attendance. Yes, Jackie.
Just a couple of things. First of all, first I'm going to mention, I have mentioned this for the last 7 years to the clerks. but I'm going to mention it again. The events calendar, it's blank, always blank. On other occasions when I've telephoned, I've always been told we haven't had the training. So I presume there's some amount of training to fill that in. And also I believe that if it's not going to be filled in, remove it.
Okay, do I know that?
Okay, yeah, we'll look into that.
thing.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie.
Well,
I'll look into that, Jackie.
thank
Yeah.
you. Now the other thing is, the tourist information.
30 pounds.
If you go into the council website, it says if you go to the council website and go on it, it says that we have a tourist information centre. And it's open in the town, on the ground floor of the town hall. I thought this had been discontinued, but then I noticed if I've been in the town hall, people have been coming in and asking where it is. It's supposed to be open apparently 10 till 12 on a Monday to Friday, on the ground floor of the town hall. And there is a telephone number. I haven't rang it, so I don't know what happens if you do. But again, if you're not going to have a tourist information centre, don't have it on me.
Okay, noted. Thank you
So,
very
so
much.
both those are the same story. If it's not going to be there, take it away.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from public?
Just
Sorry, Nigel, first of all.
just quickly about the website. You've been promised a new website for a long time. Is that coming still?
Yeah, we've actually been working on that today. So we have engaged a new company. We had a online Zoom with the new company today, which is what I wanted to say to Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, 19th of January is when they're going to send us the draft for all the councillors to see. And we're very excited about it. And all of the things that you've mentioned that need addressing, they will hopefully be resolved.
That's what I was hoping.
When you've had the training.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mr. Smith.
Item 7A, the payments of January, shows a payment of £14,760 Breckland, first installment public lighting. What lights are there and how many more installments are there to be?
Shall I answer that?
Get that.
Okay, do you want me to have a longer conversation with you if I can, are you, Mr. Smith, I don't know your first name.
Andy.
Can I give you a call on that one? But I haven't.
Is that a brief summary now? And then I'm
Yeah,
back.
okay, yeah, basically, yeah, street lights, yeah, I can see the invoice and I know what it is. We at the moment have an arrangement with Brecon District Council for the street lighting that the town council owns. And we pay them this levy for repairs, maintenance and energy. So I'm just about, I haven't mentioned it to the chair, chairman and vice chairman, or sorry, mayor and deputy mayor, that I want to do a review on that, a total review on whether we continue that. But I do need to do an assessment of the lights myself. I want to see where they are, what type of lights they are, and so it will be a whole review. And I would like to see if we can get that cost down. So I've only just started full time. I will get that review done for the council. I wasn't going to tell the council until I'd actually started to work on it. So you've sort of preempted me on that one, but that is one of the tasks that I plan to do in the next month.
Okay, thank you, Town Clerk. I'll allow Councillor Taylor just
Yeah,
to.
if I may, Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of like a prehistoric agreement that's been in place for a long time that you're now going to review.
Yes, yeah.
So basically answering the question, we are aware of it, we're reviewing it as we review a lot of things. So thank you. Anyone else from member of the public? Not, I'll draw it to a close and we'll move on to item 6, minutes of Town Council held on 4th December 2023. So again, any inaccuracies?
Yeah, not an inaccuracy as much, but one thing that I was just gonna raise was under minute 162.23, the town hall bar franchise. I think it was circulated separately because it was like of a confidential nature, the resolution. And I just wondered if the resolution could be added into the minutes, but redacted accordingly. Because at the minute, it's not reflected, the actual resolution isn't reflected in the minutes. I just wondered if it could be, the resolution could be added in, but then redacted. As much as obviously Hannah's, Sharon see fit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
But with
subject to that change, councillor want to propose? Councillor Taylor, councillor Leslie, second on the vote. Thank you very much.
I'm abstaining because I wasn't at the meeting.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Councillor Wilkins.
That was Taylor and then.
Okay, moving on to item 7, financial matters. A, to authorise payments for acceptance and approval.
I'll just disappear out the room because my
Yeah.
list is accumulated.
Those that need to. Thank you very much. Any comments? No. Ask for a proposer. Councillor Leslie, seconder. Councillor D'Souza, vote. Thank you very much.
Are you?
Abstain.
And I'm
Yeah.
abstaining because I wasn't at the meeting.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sir. Thank you.
Hold on.
And the meeting is finished. We finished.
Thank you.
No, we are finished.
Okay.
Right, 7B to agree direct debits, acceptance and approval. Any queries? No, if not, proposer. Councillor J Taylor, seconder. Councillor Wenham, and votes. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
One abstention.
To receive income. Again, any queries on that? Or any queries from the town clerk? If not, again, proposer. Oh, sorry.
Proposer.
Oh,
Me.
beg your pardon, right. Seconder. Councillor Wenham, thank you, and vote.
George, yeah.
Petty cash, that's just for information. That's Councillor Santen.
Oh, sorry, I'm still up. I'm still in the world of my own today, Ed.
E, income expenditure November 2023 for information. I don't know if anyone's got any queries on that. We'll see it. Don't know if you town clerk want to, I don't think so or not. No. Okay, thank you very much. To appoint internal auditor for 23-24.
I thought that we were going to recommend that we go with who we went last year. Very different accounting service.
We need to vote, yeah. Second. Councillor Leslie. I'll vote on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unanimous that one.
IT services and support update, which probably addresses the question earlier.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right, yes. Just, there's a point on that one. Although we had voted to appoint Techplicity, With regard to Microshade, who we're currently with, there was a renewal that was made at the cusp of when you made the decision, which was September, which was a bit naughty of them because they didn't notify us that we were going to renew, which a company really ought to let you know, even if it's like automatic, you know, rolling year to year. They really should have notified us of when that particular year starts. So we've got a bit caught out on that one. However, we are still saving, but there is an early termination fee on the contract of
You give them a day and they charge you fee.
yeah, there's 3 months, and I think it's like 1,000. Yeah, I can't remember. We'll have to check. Yeah, we'd have to check the fee, but I think it's something like 1,500. But we just wanted you to know that we have already, you have already resolved to go with the new company. It's just unfortunate, but I do believe that we're still saving 50% anyway this year, and the savings will be about 3,600 year on, you know, from now on. So that's a bit, it's cut into our sort of like saving a little bit, it's just one of those things.
Okay, no, thank you. As far as I'm concerned, we made a decision, move forward. Whatever you do nowadays, there's always costs on, you know, that's how the world works. But so I guess proposal is to go forward with.
Well, I think we've already signed
Or
up. It's
just
just for you to know.
read.
I don't really think it's universal now.
We resolve that. Don't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. So,
Okay, so we're happy with that. We need a proposal.
not really.
Not really. Okay, for information.
Do you think we need this?
Okay, so
Yeah, can we just take a vote on the 3 months contract get out?
okay, so do you want to propose
Yeah.
that?
She can't, we had.
Oh, we have to do it.
She
So
can
from
advise
that
it. I'll propose it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Second, Councillor McKinnon. Waves goodbye.
I wave goodbye, I'll second it.
So, those in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
H, power mower and treader ground staff.
Yeah, that one is, there's, I think you were given the options, and it was, oh, that's the one, Ernest, let's get the first bit, Ernest Doe was the company that really is the cheapest, so, just get.
So the councillor's got any views on this?
I'm going to be a little bit facetious because I can be, and it wouldn't be a meeting without me being facetious. Have we recently, and I say recently, generally like 2-3 years, had new bridle mowers? Like, was the last one for quality? Are we buying an extra one for an extra member of staff?
Well,
like, what is the requirement for this mower?
The one, they're well used, obviously, and they're intensively used. But the thinking is that because they were both bought at the same time, they may go at the same time, in which case you will be without a mower by June. So at least if you buy one now, then when they go, you do have one.
So we're just buying one as a precaution?
Yes, yeah.
Not as a necessity?
Well, we don't know when the mowers.
Because it's like £7,000 nearly, isn't
Yeah,
it? So
it
I'm
is.
just like,
Yeah,
you know, everyone would like to buy a second freezer and
I
fill it
don't
up
know,
just
I mean,
in
I don't
case,
know how
but-
long it's gonna take to get that mower, so if we were in the summer season perhaps, and you're without a mower for, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, possibly more, while that's on order, you will really put your schedules out, so, you know, it's up to you, but, we don't really want to be in the position where we've got to order it anyway at some point, you might as well get it now. And then we'll have to see, you know, whether we're right or wrong.
Councillor James?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of forward planning. The comment I would like to make, which may or may not be relevant, is actually that when the Checksmiths, the back payments were just made, there was a payment for chipper hire for £1,120. And I actually wonder if rather than pay for chipper hire, we should actually look to purchase a chipper.
we've looked into that.
Wasn't that actually proposed once?
I have suggested this in
Yeah.
the past,
I think
but
it was
seeing,
proposed
seeing-
before and
I
not
don't know
followed
if a
through.
formal
We
proposal was
did
made,
discuss
but
this, didn't we, with the head groundsman, and it is probably actually cheaper to hire it with what we use it for and the length of time we use it, because they are. And also, it's an industrial one that you want, so I think they are well in it. Well, you might know.
Yeah, I know there's significantly more money than we're paying in rent. We looked at this 3 times because of the suggestions, and every time we were making significant savings by renting.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as that can be demonstrated, because I'd
Yeah.
raised it and never received a formal response,
Yeah,
I
we
think
did have
actually saying this
conversations,
is
didn't
why we
we?
haven't.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what I was gonna pick up on. But
Okay, so-
I don't mind forward.
So back to, this particular item. Do you want to declare? Do you want to think?
Just ask a question. Can we have a look and see if there's a trading value to the old mower?
Yeah, that we
Or
certainly
one
can.
And or can we look at some prices on eBay and see if we can sell it on eBay? So obviously to raise the best amount of money for it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, councillor Taylor. So
Exactly,
can I
so we-
interpret that in terms of let's defer this to look at
Yes.
other
Yeah,
purchase options?
yeah, absolutely.
Is that okay, John?
Not totally.
But I think it should be live, you know, not just let's reject this and wait until something happens.
Yeah.
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 So,
We're not in
okay, thank
business
you.
at the minute, so
No, we're not in any
see if
hurry.
it comes back next
Fine.
month.
Thank you.
no, it's no. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to item 8, which is new cemetery lands. So I,
Can I just go back to that item?
no,
All right. The trailer, that we'll sort of like look at that as well, shall we?
Yeah.
It's part and parcel, yeah, I just wanted to. have it
okay,
quickly,
no, it's fine,
yeah.
sorry. No, thanks, thanks. So just touching on the trailer, is that because it needs replacing, or again, it's more of a, just coming to the end of this one?
I must admit,
I think that's an addition.
yeah, I didn't question him about the trailer, I just thought it came with it.
Okay, you can come back with,
Yeah,
yeah.
but now that we're deferring it.
okay, thank
Yeah.
you. No, thank you. Right, moving on to item 8, new cemetery lands. So, but quite a lot of councillors have been on here for a long time. This has kind of been a standard agenda. We are in need of trying to find a new cemetery. We've discussed it a lot over the last 10, God knows how many years. So what I'd like to request tonight from council is that the town clerk seeks quotes from consultants to do a land search on cemetery land. And before that happens, a brief comes back to council with regards to what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, and what it is, because we're just not moving on this at all. Councillor Taylor.
I'm not against that idea, but I would also like to suggest that maybe we put out a plea for land, because that won't cost. We can do that on the internet, we can do it on our sites, we can do it in our notice boards, we can contact local large landowners ourselves at the cost of not using a consultant. So maybe we could put a land call out for cemetery land and hope that some lovely resident, like when Chapel Queen got moved to Old Buckingham, the land was going given privately rather than us have to pay. Before while we're getting a scope together, maybe we could put that land call out whilst whoever wants to put a scope and that forward for a consultant.
We can do that. However, I can imagine every man and his dog will put their land forward. That's probably not
I
quite.
bet they won't, because it's worth more money for houses, but
Well,
you might get one that's got a bit of a
So,
conscience.
but you're right, in parallel, that's fine, and the specialist consultants who will look at ground conditions and flood and everything else and access and whatever, you can then
Go to the
review that
yeah.
rather than Has anyone got a bit of land that wants to sell for a cemetery? Councillor,
Sorry, do we have any idea of acreage that would be required for the cemetery plot?
well, again, consultants hopefully will, off the top of my head, no. But the consultants, in terms of looking, this is where it gets into projections and what have you, what's happening a lot more. I know this sounds a bit more, but it's not meant to be a lot more people being cremated. You know, so there's a whole raft of ground conditions, flood, access, environmental, what the trend's going to be in the future, what size is going to be required,
So
where it is,
it's
etc., etc.
becoming very
So
much more
it
specialist.
becomes a lot more complicated rather than a job field that we can use. Thanks very much.
No, but if you've got potential fields, you can then narrow it
Agreed.
down to the ones that
Agreed.
are suitable
Agreed.
without
So
wasting taxpayers' money on consultants to go and find those parcels of land for us. And then the landowner go, no, we don't want to give it to you or sell it to you. If you've asked first, you know where it is.
okay, agreed. So back to the proposal is, are you happy for us to draft up scope that will come back here to the council and for the town clerk to seek quotes as well as put out there, is anyone willing to offer land with no guarantee that we're going to buy it for a cemetery or it's even suitable, just to get that process going, because, you know, we are running out of time. And we've spoken about this for no, years. Vera will probably don't recognise it.
10, 11 years.
Years.
Comes to town.
I'm seconding your motion.
Okay.
That's what that
We've got
was.
that. Are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, unanimous,
Thank you.
yeah.
Item 9 we've dealt with, and again, thank you so much to those ladies and all colleagues that are helping with this. It's sad wrong to be in this position, but God bless them that there are people out there helping. Item 10, emergency plan request for additional contingency coordinators for consideration and resolution. So
Okay, if you want to look to me. So I think at the moment, I don't think a draft of the plan was actually put in the meeting papers this time around. But the current coordinators, like listed were, hang on, bear with me 2 seconds. I sent a copy of it to someone the other day because they asked. Bear with me 2 seconds. The current ones listed are. Here, councillor and myself, councillor Taylor, councillor Sam Taylor, councillor Stephen Fraser and Emma Wilson as a community volunteer, as agreed when the last draft was circulated and approved by the council. So it was just to see if anyone else wanted to add themselves to that list, or if we were going to open it up to the community for volunteers to put themselves forward for that position as well. And also, as per the last accepted draft, the meeting before last, no deputy community coordinator was agreed, so that is still vacant. At the last meeting, on the recommendation that Councillor Stephen Fraser took that position, and it was deferred. I would still like to make that recommendation.
okay, so if we break that down into 3 parts. So in terms of deputy,
Yeah,
want to propose?
I would propose it as Councillor Stephen
Anyone
Fraser.
wants to second that? Councillor Wenham, on the vote?
Are you prepared to do it?
He has no choice.
Yeah, I think that's unanimous.
Voted, yep. Thank you very much. Any other councillors? Any other councillors that want to be on the group?
Was not Councillor D'Souza on the group?
Not listed on the last
Not-
draft that was approved by the council, but if Councillor D'Souza would like to
No,
join
no,
it,
no,
he
that's
would be very welcome to.
That's fine.
There's 3 councillors already on it, so if more councillors would like to join it, I think they would be very welcome to. If not, I feel like we should open it to the community and say,
Well,
would anyone from the community like
Well,
to?
I would like to go on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go
so
on it if you want, if, you know, if needed. I'm
The more the merrier.
Yeah, I'm
So
We'll
if
spec
it's
it
a
on.
proposal of councillor Dale and Susan,
Yeah, I'll second that or propose it, I don't mind.
propose it, I'll second it, vote.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I think the third part to that is perhaps advertise to the community of we have this group, and if anyone, because there are a lot of very active and, you know, fantastic people out there that want to be involved, so if we can advertise that and get them involved and subsequently
Yeah.
get together as a group of what it's about, training, everything else, and work with Breckland.
If I can, on the back of this as well, obviously with the circumstances that we've recently faced, I have had a discussion last week with Debbie Reid, the emergency planning officer at Breckland Council, about whether or not she would be able to advise on a community-led flood action group, because a lot of the residents of Mill Lane and those sort of areas are keen to set that up themselves. But I think actually that is a resource that we could support and have a direct communication with. But I'm getting my understanding at present is that would be a community-led thing that we would have the ability to support and touch base with and have.
And I'm sure there's examples throughout the country where similar things happened that have been not playing down what's happening in Attleborough, because it has been catastrophic for elsewhere in the country. You know, that happens repeatedly. So, you know, let's use best practice. And if she can do that,
Yeah, I think
that's
she's
it,
actually,
rather than trying to invent with.
when I last spoke to her about this, she was actually awaiting a response from a lady that was quite instrumental in setting up the flood action group for Watton, which has been very successful. So she said she's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge herself from practice. So I think she was waiting to get her involved to actually kind of guide this group. But I think that'd be good asset for the town, but could obviously link in with our own emergency plan.
Excellent. And again, can I thank all councillors and all members of the public that, you know, that have been fantastically active, sadly, over the last few weeks. But what I would urge is please do not put your life in danger, even though you do the right thing. So,
And just to come in
it's
here,
a sad state of affairs that we come to this.
it is
but-
scary having now witnessed
Yeah.
firsthand what some of those residents have been
So,
putting
I-
themselves through. It's crazy.
Yeah, let's put it in perspective. I understand the reasons why and the emotions, and everything else, but we need to find a solution. And what I will say, just on that, with the vice chair, I've requested to meet with Breckland and the county ASAP following last week in terms of, you know, we've had discussions previously. Last week, something happened. Didn't seem to be much action going on from different agencies. So nothing seems to have moved. So we do need to find a plan of action rather than reliant upon individuals that are putting their lives at risk, quite frankly. And I'm not going to. Okay, moving on very quickly, and I would like to try and close as soon as possible. Correspondence.
No, you missing council's reports.
Yes, I am. Quickly.
I'm not doing one.
Yeah, just a very brief one. So Breckland have just launched some D-Day 80 grants, which I did forward on to the clerk earlier today for information. One of those grants is a £500 grant that is a community grant scheme. I did, when I emailed the clerk, copy in the secretary for the Attleborough Royal British Legion, so hopefully that will be on their radar now.
Good.
I know we have
Good.
2 members here, so maybe at the next meeting you can just raise it. And also, one of the grants was a £300 grant that is solely for the purpose of town and parish councils purchasing beacons. I know we have a beacon, But I don't know if that was just worth noting, because obviously it's what we can apply for. But the other one, £500, is for charities, constituted community groups and organisations, social enterprises, faith organisations and schools. So could go to the churches as well, the Christ Community or St Mary's.
Or the academy.
Or the academy, yeah. So I think that's a good opportunity. So I just wanted to
No,
let everyone know
thank
that,
you.
because obviously we've all got our community groups that we touch base with. So hopefully we can get some good celebrations for the town.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And if you've got any ideas or thoughts, please do send them through. So moving on to Councillor Taylor.
I'll do the boring stuff for us. So this month we've had treasury management training that we've all attended. That was like, I was expecting that to be boring, but actually it weren't that bad. Local plan consultations, overview, and I attended overview and scrutiny, where we had our second presentation from our local housing authorities on how they deal with their issues like mould and damp, and like renovating their properties, and how they manage disabilities and stuff, and getting the works done for the residents. That was quite interesting. The meeting is online if anyone wants to watch it. And later on, the 11th of this month, we have been extended an invitation by George Freeman to meet with key stakeholders to discuss the design for the new screen and installation for the new trash screen on Mill Lane. So hopefully after the 11th, we can report back on that meeting and how that goes and how it's progressing.
Okay,
So that'll be done.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you particularly to district councillors for the efforts you're putting in. Do appreciate it. Okay, moving on to correspondence. So 12A, request for donation. So it's quickly looking for it and so. So you want to
Yeah, I think that they've just got a little bit of a missing piece of the jigsaw here, which is the town council's contribution or not. What we have since found out is that it isn't just one student, it's one parent who has applied, but actually it involves a host of children who are going on the Camps International, who are trying to raise money for themselves. So it's very difficult to give money from a town or a parish council individually, but there is a possibility that if the town council wanted to help in some way, they could perhaps give a fund to be distributed by the school for this. That's the only way I could think of us helping.
It is difficult because it opens a kind of worms when it's individual. However, all schools have a parent staff association.
Yeah.
Whether a suggestion, you know, goodwill towards the community that as a town council where we, and it's not for agreement now, maybe reflect on it, but as a position going forward, as a town council, we voluntarily provide a fund every year to the PSAs of all schools. And then they can then decide, you know, if they want to use it for specific reasons or what have you. So at least it's some kind of acknowledgement, but that's just my initial suggestion, you know, trying to get over the individuality of it or and what have you. So
because I don't think, looking at sort of like the income and expenditure, there's not really anything allocated for a youth fund. So it could be that if you had a fresh category of a youth fund, that could be used, for instance, like scouts, schools, and it's there to be applied for. I don't know, it's just a suggestion.
I think it's a great suggestion because it's been a massive in terms of trying to address this one. Sorry, councillor, Tony, I'll come to you in a minute.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But in terms of trying to address this with actual need of going through the PSA, might be easier, and then it's up to them to allocate. I don't know, councillor Tony.
Yeah, so I think actually that is quite a reasonable suggestion, as is Sharon's suggestion of a youth fund. That could be used to tap into, you know, things like that from the schools, or like she rightly said, scouts and so on. And maybe that when we're reviewing our budgets and things like that, that's something that maybe Sharon can look at and come back with a suggestion, and give us an opportunity to formally think of our response. I know you've said this isn't for now, but food for thought. We have already supported this by giving them not money, but our resources. So, you know, the town hall as a venue, or the car park as a venue for car washes or else. I just think that actually maybe we should just say, you know, on this particular occasion, we can't offer you a financial contribution, but we can offer you our resources. If you would like them, a venue for anything, please let us know. And then the office can, you know, just rubber stamp that as and when it comes in. If the town hall's available that day, let them have it and leave it to the officer's discretion and make those arrangements with the council supporting that they can use our resources, but not make a financial contribution.
My only concern with allocating a fund is it becomes a bit of a black hole. You don't know what it actually is paying out for. If it was more specific, then perhaps.
Agreed, but I think that's where you need to tighten the scope of this, what the funds used for, and demonstrate that. No, you're quite right. I mean, it's an obvious question, but I mean, this is a problem when you want to try and help. You know, things like this, it suddenly becomes potentially wide open, and you can close it down very quickly. But I think, you know, the purpose, from my point of view, personally, you know, over the years, is town council's here to help the community and then shape way forward. We need to find a way of doing that. So,
sorry, I just wanted to firm up what I said by making a proposal, and that proposal would be that we delegate to Sharon assessing, you know, a budget for the schools and or youth activity, and in the meantime, further extend the use of the town council resources, open space and buildings, should they be needed to this group of individuals. But have that so that that is also delegated to the office. So at their discretion, if the town hall is available or whatever else, they have the competence to say, yes, you can use it on this day. No, you don't. No, you can't. And leave it with them for now.
so that, yes,
Yeah,
councillor.
I think that's very reasonable, and so I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Do you do short?
No, but I can write quickly.
So my proposals are long,
so-
but the meetings are.
So thank you, councillor Taylor, on that, and hopefully councillor D'Souza, it's kind of, you know, very personal point, quite rightly as well, but you know, we're here to help and support the community in whatever way we can. So the proposal, councillor Leslie seconded. Come on, vote. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, swiftly moving on to 12B, letter from resident regarding request for Christmas card.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we just received this letter, so the staff, Anne and myself and Paula gave that some thought, and we thought that was a lovely idea, and there was Christmas cards already made up, but we thought that we can make plans even for next Christmas, even though that's quite a way away. So what we did was we publicised on the Facebook page and asked people if they could send us some pictures of the lights of this year. So they're now in our files, aren't they? We have some lovely ones. And of course, the Christmas lights Facebook page also has some photos as well that we can access. So we've sort of already acted upon that. And then next year, we would like to change the Christmas card to those pictures, because I thought the lights were absolutely brilliant this year. Not that they weren't last year, but they were particularly excellent. So we feel as if we can perhaps do a range of Christmas cards and possibly even a calendar. And we may even be able to sort of like double up on our efforts to ask for photos to be sent in during the year, so that we could make an Attleborough Town Council calendar, perhaps, that if we sell it, we could sort of like donate the proceeds to a good cause or something. That's just extending beyond what this is, but it just gave us lots of ideas.
No, I think that's an excellent idea. And whilst we're just touching on this, can I, again personally and hopefully on behalf of the Town Council, sincerely thank the Christmas Lights Committee for another excellent event. So it's absolutely superb. I've so many comments complimenting the lights again. So thank you all to those that were involved and community and volunteers. So, Councillor Tony.
I was coming back to the Christmas card, and I can't remember a member of staff's name that took some pictures of this one in the chapel one year when it's been printed onto cards for postcards. But no, it was the woman who worked in the office. Yeah, can't remember what her name was. No, the one before her, who lived on Lavender Close. Who lived on Lavender Close in Springfields. I want to say name from my age.
Right, moving on.
But there should be some. No, I'm just saying there should be some somewhere in the file.
So,
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Councillor Tony.
I was just going to say, I don't know if Sharon and the team picked up on this, but the town council's post, while there was a lot of comments on that, I did share it to the community page, and we got inundated with pictures, and some of them were, especially Tracy Turner, she's got a front row seat, and her pictures were phenomenal.
Okay.
So
You've got a
yes.
whole host, yeah.
Lots.
No, I think that's a great idea.
But
That's
what we also thought was, anything that is sent in, and if it isn't used for the cards, we want to put a gallery on the new website.
Yeah.
So they will be put onto the website anyway, so that you might have Christmas themes, but you will have a gallery of all the lovely photos of Attleborough for everyone to look at, which is a nice part of the website, isn't it? Apart from just being information.
fantastic. Thank you. And again, thank you to the lighting committee.
Very quickly, do we need to get the photograph owners' permission to use their photograph?
Possibly, yeah. If it's
So-
on Facebook, that's Facebook's pictures, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, as a matter of courtesy.
But if you wanted to
we
use it for
certainly
commercial purposes like
make
a
a
calendar
note
or
of
a
it.
card,
Yeah.
you would need to get the.
We would do it for a charity though, wouldn't we? We would have cards and calendars.
Oh,
It
yeah.
would be a charity
Yeah.
fund, right, so yeah.
But we'll determine that near the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Item 13, public participation. We've still got the will to live.
Just on that one, Ed, you do have to get permission on photographs to use them.
No, thank you. We'll go through due diligence.
And some of these photographers get very upset.
It won't be my photographs.
Not mine.
Anyone else, please? If not, we'll move swiftly on. Items for,
Ed, just one more on the
sorry.
youth fund idea. Having had a young athlete, that kind of thing to be open for sport, when they're achieving that level, it costs a lot of money. So anything like that you can do for the wider youth, if there's money there.
Yeah.
And having specific, it used to be for a national event or a county level or, it's expensive from experience.
Yeah.
of
It's also
having a-
very tricky for any parish or town council to give to an individual, whether they're a child or whether they're an adult. So we have to be really careful of that.
It's about having it scoped, isn't it? That
Yeah,
it's
which is
for
what-
this and that.
yeah.
I get
So-
where it's difficult in this one. I assume they're the ones that have been raising funds all over
Yeah.
town.
No, absolutely. But we'll do the best we can because we do need to support the community and particularly the youth or the younger generation. Youth sounds awful, doesn't it? But, okay, item 15, date and time of next meeting. So
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
22nd of January. Oh, yeah, yeah, I've really got.
Don't think it's 22nd of January.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
next agenda. Are you talking about environment?
Oh, sorry. Items for next
Oh,
agenda.
Sorry, yeah,
5th of February, is it?
5th of February, sorry, yeah, I wasn't
No, we
thinking.
went through that. 5th of Feb. Thank you.
And items for the next agenda.
Went through that. No, 7. So item 16, and apologies, this sounds awful. Exclusion of press and public. To pass a resolution excluding press and public from the meeting in the sensitive nature of the business to discuss.
I'll second
Second
it.
it, vote.
See you later, folks.
And can I just assure you, that sounds very officious, but when we get to it, it really isn't that exciting.